Greetings, Benjamin J. from BENZTRAINZ with another in the series. Well, another experiment. This is a Lionel 8140 body. Now, I pulled the motor out of this, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and used it in that Santa Fe diesel. It was missing its motor. So this had that DC can motor in it. Anyway, I added some diodes to that motor and took it out and mounted it in that Santa Fe shell, which left this empty 8140 shell. And the odds of finding a loose Lionel motor are pretty slim. So of course I've mounted a Marx motor in it. This is a Marx single reduction motor. I bypassed the E unit on it. One of the motors that I've had laying around for the last couple of weeks. Anyway, wanted to see what it would take to actually mount this in this 8140 shell. So I made a rear mounting plate for it, got that epoxied into place. And for now, I just have it wedged into position in the front with a piece of paper. I'll show you that in a minute. Anyway, this is going to be the first trip around the rail. I ran it. I had to modify the shell a bit for clearance for the push rods. But this is the first trip around the rail actually pulling a consist. So a Lionel 8140 with a Marx single reduction motor pulling 12 Lionel cars. Let's see how this goes. Now I've got a temporary drawbar on it. I haven't mounted the drawbar. I'll either put a tab and slot on it or just modify this drawbar to mount it with a screw. But as you can see, it actually works quite well. That's running at 50% power, pulling 12 Lionel cars. It has a working headlight, forward only, but since I had this empty shell, I figured it would be a good project to put a new motor in it. So a Marx single reduction motor in this Lionel shell. So I'll show you how I did this. Get this drawbar off of here. So I mounted a rear mounting plate. It's epoxied into position, as you can see. And to mount the front, I've got it butted against this side, and I just packed a piece of paper to hold it in position right now. And I need to either locate some screws and drill the hole or modify the original plate to go over here to hold the motor in the front. But it works. That's the neat thing about it. So it is a working locomotive. Let's see if I can get this thing back on the rail. So you can see I've just got this drawbar stuck through that rear slot on the back of this locomotive. So really crude, but I just wanted to test it, see how it was going to run. But as you can see, it looks all right. There's no doubt about that. And got to modify this drawbar. I need to cut it off, shorten it, drill a hole in it, and mount it with a screw. But for now, at least the locomotive is running. So just want to do a quick video. So Lionel 8140 shell, a Marx single reduction full-size motor with the E-unit bypass, so it runs forward only. But as you can see, it runs. That's the nice thing about it. So if you have an old shell and a motor, you can always make a working locomotive out of it. Of course, if you're willing to put the time in it. It's not particularly difficult. It's time-consuming because you have to basically fabricate parts, especially for that rear mounting plate. But it works, and as you see, this actually runs quite well. It's smooth, it's quiet. It's running at 50% power, pulling 12 cars. It has a working headlight, and it costs absolutely nothing. So a Marx motor and a Lionel 8140 shell. So I've got to get this drawbar mounted. That's all there is to it. As you can see, it's just stuck through that rear slot where the original drawbar went. Anyway, as you see, it runs. It runs forward only, but it runs, and it's just made out of junk. And since I snagged the motor out of this, like I said, the odds of finding another Lionel motor are pretty slim. So I just put that Marx motor in there, and it's up and running, as you see. So it looks all right. It runs well. It didn't cost anything, and I had the fun of doing it. So about, I don't know, it probably took an hour or so to fabricate that plate or modify that plate and get it mounted, epoxied, put the motor in it, put a light bulb in it, get it wedged in there. And now I'll either locate the screws or locate the holes to put the screws, or just modify a front mounting plate for it. Anyway, just wanted to do a quick video on this. So Lionel 8140, as you see, this was just an empty shell with a Marx single reduction motor mounted in it. E-unit bypass, of course, so it runs forward only. But it runs. That's the neat thing about it. Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.